Okay, I'm back at Murray Street in Peterborough. So we got to put a post in here and there. There's already a post there. Found center, started digging, and we're going to remove the previous concrete blob. Dug a lot of soil out, rented an auger, 8-inch Sonos, the exact 8-inch. Outside diameter, because these vary. Even though they say 8-inch, they don't tell you what the exact is. And now we gotta dig that out. Oh yeah, I just want to show you. There's wire in here. That's all wire. Wire. Someone put in to hold the soil back on this hill. That, you do not want to get that on the auger. Oh, there's a wormy. Okay, let's get out the blob. Made a platform here. That's pretty big, took out a root. And the root this is the root we dug out. We have to take it out to take out that big chunk of concrete. Rented that. Might have to get a jackhammer. Okay, you can see where the original post was. And it was basically here, 4x4. Down about almost a foot below the soil, and this is a huge area of concrete. I don't know how deep it goes yet. I'm still digging below it. We're going to remove this. That's the mission, piece by piece. That's center, that stake, so it was pretty close to center. It's about 7.5 feet either way to either post. Alright, that was it's a big river rock right there. Right against the concrete. Got it lagged in. Okay, let's take it out. This is a 4-inch by 5/16 7-inch RSS GRK structural. Takes a T30, and that's what I used here, but they're a little bit long, so I just used 2 washers on each one, all around on the base, and we got 4.5-inch lags going in, and I think I have the bag for those here. So these were the 1/2-inch diameter, 4.5-inch, and they're called I don't know. They just have the shank on them. They don't have the full sleeve, and they're great. They're power studs by Hillman. I find them better than the full sleeve like Redmond ones. These are better. And you just whack them in. Make sure your 1/2-inch hole is deeper than however you want to go, and then you just torque them, and they're solid. I went, make sure this is level. And now we're using these big, huge guys I have kicking here. I guess some people bolt it, but these are massive. We're gonna just 2 of these, just 2, because the holes line up on both sides. You don't want to smack screws. And that's your base. This one over here is direct, 4 feet in the ground. That's a 10-footer, so you can tell that's 4 feet down. So it's only 6 and a bit. And we're reusing this pier. It's this I dug down beside it with a hole. This pier is easily 4 feet. I dug down actually with a hole, the auger, and they cut it flush. It's friggin' loud, dust everywhere. It's brutal, but it's still better than replacing the whole pier. and we got it level. So we're gonna screw these in, and I don't know what these are. I mean, you can see what they are. They're about 4 inches, and they're massive. Take a 3/4 inch drive, one washer. We're just gonna hand bomb them in there, and almost done for the day. Looks like rain. Perpetually looks like rain. Anyway, what a mess. Gotta clean up. Okay, just a couple notes on using these Hillman brackets. I like these ones that flare out to the sides. The holes were 1/2 inch, which is great. You can get a 1/2 inch anchor in there. And you have to be able to drill through it with the masonry bit. So you don't want to have to ream the hole open. You want 1/2 inch. And you do one at a time because it always moves with the concrete. Get this flush, I mean level. Level is really important. You want, and then you get the level out, check for level, of course. Both ways, bracket it like I did. That's a good, we got it pretty much on the bubble. On the bubble here. Yeah, we're good. So we got a nice, and also squared up to the next one. I did pretty good. I had to tweak it a bit because this fence isn't perfect, but we're good. And make sure you got to go back, dig back at least a foot away from the pier. This is a 8.5 inch pier, and deep enough for your saw, your circular saw, to get the motor down in the hole. So it's pretty deep. You got to go almost a foot, 10 inches deep, I'd say. So a foot back, a foot deep, that's the size of, that's a big hole. You're talking almost 3 feet wide by a foot deep to get your tool in there so you can cut this flush. That's a pain in the ass, but it's the only way to do it that I can think of. And I don't even have this attached right now, it's just freestanding. That's pretty good. Like, that's as good as you're ever gonna get. I got this bolted right through, lots of bolts. I just went crazy, pre-drilled everything. Other than that, those are the tips I have. Make sure you dig out the base. I did a thing where I verified how deep the pier was with a hole beside it. I don't know if, you don't really know, but you can tell how strong it is once you try to kick it. And hopefully they went down 48 inches or something like that, especially on this grade. This is a hill. This was your traditional Sono tube, 48 inches down, a little bit higher than it was before because I don't want it to rot like last time. Grade is here. Grade's her garden. You can see where grade is. So it was just below grade before. That's way below grade. It just wasn't done for whatever right reason. This is solid. But you see, when you go 48 inches down into the Sono, the concrete, that's just an 8 inch. No rebar. I didn't put any rebar in there. That you don't want to do that because you want to be able to get the gravel in there. It's stronger than this, but pretty good for lagged. So I'm happy. And we still, that's just the wood. That's just the metal moving. The wood's not moving. You can tell. It's just the way this is the way it's made. You could almost shim this, and it might actually stiffen that up if I jam some metal shims underneath that, but it doesn't matter. Once this is connected, I like how these bolts are facing this way, the plate flanges, because this is the strength, like this way on the fence. You have lateral strength because of the fencing. So make sure you do that. That's it. Oh, thinking about it today, man. Yeah, it's 7 at once. Well, that's pretty efficient. Let's see if we can cut that. Oh, babe, I was thinking about you again today. Hey, I'm just finishing up this fence here and just putting on these final cross 2x6s. I put 4 screws, those are 1 5/8". Put up the 1 crossers first on the other side, and then I do 4 on each side, and then I cover it. They did the same thing. Cover it with a 2x6, every 2 feet or whatever, screwed. So it's actually eight screws per board. I mean, it's a lot of screws. You're talking 8 times. You might have 20 boards, you might have 40. Depends how long your fence is. So you're into like the hundreds of screws. Just notched it around this. I extended this about 4 inches below the crosser to keep the rabbits out. We're gonna build up a little bit of something there, gravels for drainage. You definitely don't want soil along that. I'm gonna try to recommend that to the gardener. And a little bit of gravel or pea stone would be good for drainage. Put a new board in there, and I gotta do these 2 boards at the bottom, and that's almost it for the day. Okay, this is the finished fence. It's a 6-foot high fence between 2 properties on a hill. You see that we're very hilly here. We're up on a bunch of rubble, and then there's a hill that goes up. We cut this tree out. It's a Manitoba Maple. That was pushing on the fence. There's still a poplar over there, but it's kind of supporting the fence there. New post here. Modified post here, pier here, 2 new posts. Put a whole bunch of screws in the corner here. This is screwed. You can see we're gonna get new caps similar to this one. Kept the original, save a bit of money there. And it's solid, like I can climb on this. Very strong, I'm happy with it. And we gotta let it dry a little bit, paint it in a couple days, or stain it. It's gotta be stained both sides. And that's it. A little bit of fill. I might recommend something to keep the soil away from the bottom, but that's about it. It's just there's air here now, so air gap. Anyway, that's done. I don't know if you can hear it, but the birds are chirping as I'm leaving the hospital here. It was very quiet in the emergency room at 4:30 in the morning. 1 person sitting there. That is the time to go. And there are people working there. Parked way over here.